You've returned again. How extraordinary, or how peculiar, perhaps. Surely you've better places to be than here, listening to the ramblings of a forsaken thing. But no matter, I won't question it. Not tonight. I'll just, I'll just be glad you're here. Tonight's story, a continuation from the last, a new beginning, or perhaps a second try at life. What a hopeful start. But we both know not everyone gets a second try, especially not from the gods, holding their power above mortals like loose strings trapping ignorant creatures. But power like that, it attracts notice, friends, enemies, admirers, and some who would do anything to hold on to a fragment of that light, even if it meant shattering the very thing they admired. Unusual, isn't it? How something so beautiful, so infinite, could inspire both reverence and jealousy. Tell me, do you think it's better to be admired from afar, or to have someone close, even if it means they might one day break you? I've thought about that question for centuries, you know? Ages upon ages of solitude gives one ample time to ponder such things. And I never seem to arrive at an answer. You remember the last chapter, don't you? An eldritch being unleashed upon the world. People falling to their demise trying to save others. And a wish to start anew. So we continue our story. After last time's adventure, we begin on the first day of the school, the first day of the Mystical Arts University, where we focus on you, Marianne. What did you prepare for your first day of school? It's a big day. Not everybody gets accepted. You were scouted, as many of the other talented students were. You were scouted, so what did you prepare? What did you bring with you, and how do you look on your first day of school?
I'm walking inside, chest pulled back, head up high, my hair still not completely manageable, still pretty frizzy, but pulled back to the best of my abilities so that my face just shines. I'm smiling at everyone. I'm just wearing some brown leather pants, a tunic, and a red cloak on top. And I'm walking inside, rehearsing how I'm going to disguise myself and show myself to the teachers. Right now, no one can see who I actually look like. My hair more or less is the same. I have a lot of problems actually taming my hair in real life and with my magic.
Marianne, will you do me the favor of rolling a perception check? Just to see what do you see around you and who do you see on this magical first day of school?
14.
14. You look around and there's hundreds of kids. This is all of the first years who just been basically sought after. All you know from the little you know of this college that it's prestigious. There's very it's basically an invite only college where you have to be the best of the best. There's no question about it. If you're in here, you have some real talent, but not everybody has enough or what it takes to graduate. Only 10 get chosen. And with that 14, you are looking around and there's probably somewhere between 500 and 1,000 kids. The whole auditorium, well, the line to get into the auditorium is being split up by different teachers. You see a huge Goliath with a battle axe on his back. You see the one that's guiding you towards the auditorium is this slim tiefling with two round horns on the top of her head. She's a scarlet of sorts, and she's just guiding everybody. You can see she has a lute on her side, and she's just motioning with her hands for everybody to follow the line. Everybody's mainly quiet. There's nobody really trying to speak out of line. You hear some mumbling, some chatter, because everybody's excited for their first day. And with the 14, you see three people. I want you to roll me a wisdom saving throw. A 3. It is your first day of school. You don't remember really what was the night for prepping. There's no real recollection of anything that happened prior to this first day. You know, there was anxiety. You probably couldn't sleep well last night. That's why you probably can't remember. But as you look around and take a glance in the sea of people, you get this pounding headache, almost like if there's a screech, almost as if some like person was dragging their nails across a chalkboard, and you hear that sound but just amplified until you literally have to just grab your ears quickly from this random sound. No one else seems affected by it. You take 7 damage, psychic damage. And you feel this pain inside your head. No one else moves. Everybody's still following in a single filed line. Everybody's still, to a T, just behaving, knowing that there are enough smiles all around. And with that pounding headache you get, this noise that almost reverberates in your head, you realize you see somebody. As I said, you see 3 people. One of them is this short halfling, very short, and with that 14 you see as her skin is pale, cracked skin. She has a hood over her. Similar to you, she doesn't really want to be seen, but you can get a slight glance at her skin, and it is pale, porcelain almost. You see the eyes almost sink in behind her face. It's weird, her hands are in gloves, and she is way shorter than most. With this glance you took around the room, you see another person. A young, you assume maybe higher teens, maybe young adult. It's just this one person with a goat horn that curves back, and he has what seems to be runes etched into his face from the horn to his eye. And then a quick glance to the third person, you see as there is this, what you assume to be of divine blood being. He has this almost grayish pale skin. One side of his face seems almost corrupted, that it's darker than most. The other side is as beautiful as beauty can possibly be. This man seems to take care of one side of his face, and the other seems to be left alone. His pale white hair, and you almost see him floating behind everybody. Not too high off the ground, maybe an inch or two, but you don't see his feet touch the ground. That is what you get with that splitting headache.
Headache has kind of taken over my senses. I see these 3 people, but I'm immediately distracted. I'm trying to look away from the light from the sun, from the sky, looking down. My hands are pressuring on my temple, and I realize how strange I must be looking right now. I quickly go to the side, past the students who are walking and forming a line, and I lean against the wall. The coolness from the wall is helping with my headache. but I cannot seem to remove my hands from my temple, the only thing that seems to be giving me some type of relief. I look down and I notice that my clothes have changed. I'm back to my regular self. I don't have my red cloak. My red cloak has turned back into my typical favorite red blouse, silk material, short sleeved. I have my black leather pants on because I'm very smart. I changed from black to brown, and a leather backpack. The leather backpack I take off and I drop on the ground. I'm really concentrating at this point not to throw up from the pain in my head. I close my eyes and I focus on my breathing. Anxiety is rising now because this came out of nowhere. I'm afraid of looking bad in front of all of these people. I'm here for a fresh start. I close my eyes and I focus on my breathing. I try to calm myself down.
As you're standing there trying to calm yourself down, you hear footsteps approaching quickly. Do you glance at them?
I look at their feet. I'm still looking down and I see their feet approaching me.
You see regular, it's very clearly very used. It's nothing fancy. It is as if they were just traveling inside their house or somewhere familiar. They have these nice-ish but very overused shoes, and you hear a feminine voice. Are you okay? And you see almost an amulet of sorts hang low enough on their arm where it is the symbol of an eye with a line through the center.
I struggle to lift up my head, dropping my arms, though it takes my entire willpower to stop holding my head. And I look up with a tight smile. I'm definitely still in pain. This is definitely hurting me, but there is no way that I'm not making a great first impression. I say, I'm okay. Thanks for asking. My name is Marianne. Clearing my throat, trying to stand up a little bit taller, I reach out my hand. What's your name?
Roll another wisdom save.
9.
9. You get another jolt of pain in your head. This time you take 1 damage. As you look up and you expect to see a face, but yet you get this familiar, unfamiliar, almost movie just pop up into your head as your brain registers who this is. You see a quick but cryptic short film, basically. Just you see somebody getting dragged into a monstrosity and an amulet get dropped off to the ground, splattered with blood. You don't know from where, and you just hear, "Hi, yeah, I suppose you're feeling like me. Some nerves? My name's Janine."
Janine, yes. I stand up a little bit straighter. My hands are incredibly sweaty. I'm shaking the back of my pants, but I realize it's not doing anything because it's leather and I probably look like an idiot. You're right, I'm just having a little bit of anxiety. It's getting a lot. We were picked out of so many people. I just, battling through some emotions, feeling like maybe I don't fit in.
Oh, trust me, I feel the same way. How did you get spotted? What did you do to make them pick you?
Take a second. Question threw me off so much that I'm no longer focused on the headache. I'm trying to bring up a memory prior to feeling pain. Vaguely recollecting the vision that I just had, those flashes. I'm drawing a blank. Oh, you know, I replied. They probably saw my little cool magic tricks, in quotes. I'm really great at disguises and sleight of hand, so I usually go around in the taverns and put on a show. The little kids really like me, and I'm assuming I did get spotted that way. I corrected myself, trying to play off as normal.
Oh,
How about you? She stumbled still, and now I feel the pain.
um, I was speaking at my church, and as I was just reciting some verses, my I don't know, I felt this great surge of energy, and with the audience, with with everybody in the church said was that my eyes started glowing, and this amulet, and said the god spoke through me. Yeah, I suppose somebody from the school was in the audience. I was just, after that show of magic, I was just basically so tired I nearly passed out. So I suppose they saw that, and then I received mail, letter telling me to show up.
Wow. I take a look at the amulet that's lower in her hand. Is that the amulet you're talking about?
Yes, yes.
Curiosity takes over and bend down, probably a little bit too close to the stranger for comfort. Do you mind if I take a better look? I've studied so many ancient ruins and artifacts that something like this is just you don't really see.
Oh, be my guest.
I reach out, I take the amulet, and I examine it. I roll a perception check,
What are you trying to see about it?
trying to see if there's any inscriptions, any symbols, anything that pops out that it can identify it in some way.
Okay. Well, the perception.
13.
13. You see a tiny inscription in the back. In the eye, in the center of the eye, but on the back side, that's usually placed against her hand. It says a name, Othis. And on the bottom of that, it's a very small, short inscription. I see all, so I protect all.
I take note of this. I'm a little confused. Immediately, I step back up and I look at her. Othis? Who's Othis? I almost never not know something.
Oh, Othis is the deity I follow. It is my god. And it is the god of oracles and prophecies. Some might
Oh,
say I've been blessed with a divine vision, but I don't really remember much from it.
that's interesting enough. You know, religions and those things have never really attracted me. When you know this much, you know that I stop myself, realizing that I'm about to offend this girl, or this woman. I'm sorry. Forget about what I just said. That's incredible. And you don't know where it came from. Well, clearly you're special. I joke and I laugh, trying to lighten the mood.
Oh yes, you see as her grayish skin, there is certain slashes in certain parts, like scars that are on just out in display. There's certain scars that like have healed. Some of them look newer than usual, well, newer than the other ones, but She just looks at you. Oh, someday you must come and participate in my church, the Church of Othis. Maybe you are similar to me, and maybe you can get a divine reading as well, or maybe they can tell me your prophecy. And you hear from somewhere further down in the line, you two ladies, can you hurry up? Everybody has to be seated soon.
Sorry, I call out. It was a pleasure meeting you, Janine. And I rush towards the voice, still feeling the headache, but a little bit more concerned or interested with the halfling I just met. I've reached the professor. Sorry, miss, sorry.
You see, the guy that had the horn and the etched symbols on his horn and eye, and he's leaning against the wall next to where the professor is, but not too close. He's leaning there, looking at something. The Goliath that you were walking with, well, that was talking to you, is just briskly walks past you and goes where the teacher is telling you guys to go. But you're close enough to decide whether or not you want to speak to somebody else that caused a sharp pain in your head, or would you prefer to go straight in?
I decide to go straight in, needing to sit down at this point, as the pain in my head, no longer considered a headache, now just pain, is taking over, and I'm feeling a little bit weak. And the blood, I feel, is drained. My hands are cold. I know I need to sit down.
Okay. As you sit down, we transition over to you, Jack, as you're a solid, probably 15, 20 feet away from the professor that is trying to guide everybody in. And you're on the wall. You received short visions as if somebody casted something in your head, and it was painful. You had to rest against the wall, and your visions were of somebody turning, is some slim figure turning, and almost as if a tentacle monster just reached out a tentacle and grabbed his leg, as a quick vision of him dropping his weapons and hitting the floor causes you to push up against the wall as everybody is almost all into the auditorium as the teacher's just looking around.
I kind of like resting my hand on my forehead a bit, and I'm trying to contemplate this like vision, because all that goes through my head is just, it's not quite like the nightmares or other visions I would usually get. It doesn't follow the same theme in a way. So while I'm like contemplating this, I'm just like, at this point I think I would be staring at the professor, wearing a confused expression on my face, and it looks as if it's directed towards the professor, but it's only directed internally. And I'm just gonna slowly kind of walk towards where I need to walk, but kind of dragging my hand on the wall a bit, just to make sure I don't accidentally fall over or just at this point bump anyone, because I'm not even interested in observing my surroundings.
As you use the wall for a support of sorts, you see as the professor, well, nearly everybody is already going into the auditorium. Nearly everybody is gone. There's only a few stragglers like yourself still out and about. As the professor just turns to you, her line is done. You're the last one that was on her line. And she turns, what might your name be? Just making sure. You look confused. Are you supposed to be here?
Uh Yes, I'm Jack Sullen. Sorry, I was a little preoccupied with some thoughts. You know, first day jitters, that sort of thing.
First day jitters. Um, and you're supposed to be on my line, right? Can you just tell me what exactly did you do that interested me enough? I don't remember, Jack. But if you could define what you did, before you received the letter, yeah, maybe it would, scratch that itch in my brain.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, I have quite a bit of paintings at home, and I mean, I accompany my visual work with more auditory with my lute. So, you know, the beautiful blend of the two got me to where I am right now.
Roll an insight.
Insight? Okay.
You see her nod her head. You see her nod her head, and she looks at you. She's nodding her head. Oh, Jack, yeah. Right this way, please. Don't hang out too long outside. We're going to do introductions. And then we will find out what we have to do for the rest of the evening before we get you guys settled down.
Well, all right. Sorry about that. As I just kind of walked by and try to find myself a seat at that point.
You sit down, and in your row, there's probably 10 or so people. Everybody is like sitting a couple chairs away from each other. This is like one of the further back rows. You don't really make out who is in your row. You just see a couple people like tapping their leg, or just like one of them is holding their arms together and you can see like itching her side. But in the front, it is massive. It's rows on rows on rows of just seats, slightly elevated from the ones in front of them. And in the front, there is this small, well, from how far you are at this point, being one of the last ones in, this honestly medium size stage where you see a couple of people not really knowing who they are. A lot about this university was kept secret, except for the prestige behind it, and the people who graduate usually keep to themselves or seem content in life that they don't have to go and mingle with others. But you see a stage, and there is this one. There's this older looking fellow who is stocky. He's looks better for what his age looks like it could be. And he is just waddles over to the center stage. Hello. The students, welcome first years. My name is Corvum. Yes, that is Corvum. Please, when you do address me, you can call me principal, you can call me sir, you can call me Corvum. Please feel free. We are one big happy family as long as we are trying our hardest to cooperate and please the gods, please the art gods. That is why we are here. All of you had talent and all of you have potential. We are here to cultivate that potential into something artistic, something beyond the normal realms, something purely divine. Now, that is up to you to decide if you believe in the divine, but we are here nonetheless. All of you made it, all of you are worthy. If you have some late stage jitters, just remember we chose you, we know what you are capable of, and you made it here. That means you are good enough. I know imposter syndrome might be running rampant, but I promise you, once you see how hard the work is and how capable you are of completing the work that will be assigned to each of your classrooms, you will be able to see and notice your own talents if you haven't already. Now, sorry for the long spiel, but today we have to cut the auditorium bit a little short because, well, majority of the staff isn't feeling so well, and also I would like to introduce you to your own homeroom teachers. They will be taking care of you at least for the first year. If you begin to progress past your comrades, you might skip a level or you might progress to a different homeroom. Any questions as he looks blankly into an auditorium filled with students that all are silent but just looking at each other. Some are smiling, some have the most serious face you've ever seen. But it is the first day. No one really knows each other. You see a bit of chatter, but the principal looks out.
How far is the principal from me?
You are all the way in the back. It is at least a solid 500 feet.
Okay. Okay. Then all right. Then I just want to try to yell out as far as I can. Is there going to be any math?
Okay, so just a heads up, yeah, the auditorium is we built it so you could just talk regular and I would be able to hear you from all the way back there. So please don't scream because then you're screaming into my ear. At least when I'm standing in the middle of the stage. But there will be math of sorts. We're here to cultivate our talents. So yes, there might be some small adventures depending on which homeroom teacher you have. Whatever the homeroom teacher that you are assigned to will determine your curriculum. So if you are one of the more battle strategy heavy homeroom teachers, they might ask you to count up something or do some simple mathematics. There isn't going to be anything crazy, but there might be something crazy if you understand what I mean. Any other questions? No, I will take that as a no. So as I said, we will be stopping this introduction a little bit early, as some homeroom teachers are very sick and probably should not be here, but I told everyone to be here, at least for today, so the students can meet the homeroom teachers on the first day. Now, that being said, the person whose line you were on, that is your homeroom teacher. If you have not asked for their name, if you have not seen them, if you somehow missed them, they will introduce you as they will guide you to your rooms. And yes, rooms, because each homeroom teacher has their own floor. I would suppose there is some floors are sectioned off because we can't really afford multiple gyms and so on. But for the most part, the dorms would be all on one floor, and depending on what the teacher wanted for this year's curriculum, that is all on mostly one floor. Now, that being said, homeroom teachers, please bring all your students to the floor that correlates and let the year begin. Hopefully, you guys are excited as I am. So let's go.
Everybody stand up. I stand up as well. Can I take a check on my headache status?
I would say, without even having to roll anything, the headache was almost as if it was a like sharp pain of just getting like quickly jabbed with like a dagger or sorts, but the pain subsided very quickly. And as soon as you sat down and you were able to not stand and relax a little, the pain went away. You're feeling good, but still kind of like doozy from the sharp jab.
Got it. So I'm standing up with everyone else. I'm still definitely feeling the anxiety. My hands are just so sweaty. My hair has frizzed up even more if that was possible. I put a smile on my face, and I'm trying to ensure that I look okay and presentable. I look around for my teacher, trying to see where they are. Where is my teacher?
Since you were one of the last ones to go in, you see the back row stands up, and you see the familiar faces you've seen before. You see the guy with the goat horn on one side of his head. He's practically the last one. He stands up and starts following down the lines. As you see the tiefling with the scarlet skin and the two horns that curve back, she's basically guiding him to a certain area outside of the auditorium, and each row behind you starts standing up. Probably 3 rows in, everybody around you stands up to also go. There's probably somewhere from 50 to 100 people in your class.
Surveil that and stand up and follow the lead. Looking around, noticing people around me are already talking. I'm getting a little nervous. And again, I'm thinking, damn, I missed out on the opportunity to make a good fresh impression. Come on, get it together. Get it together, Marianne. You want to make friends. You want people to know you. You want to be the best. Get your head in the game. Everything's all right. Feel a little better after the pep talk with myself. I'm following the crowd. I'm trying to make eye contact with someone and start a conversation, but it seems like everybody's either focused on themselves or in conversation. Feeling a little lonely. Looking around some more. Turn around, and I see the guy with the horn in the back. He's further behind me. He looks like he's straggling a little bit. I kind of step to the side, lower my pace, until I see him catch up. He's right behind me. Now at this point, as casually as possible, telling myself, be cool. Be cool. Casually glance to my side behind my right shoulder. I'm like, oh, hi. I saw you outside. My name's Marianne.
Oh, Marianne. I'm Jack. Wait. As I kind of like squint and look her up and down a little bit, I'm like, ah, you're also human, huh? Pretty nice.
Also, the pretty big word in this situation. I laugh a little bit. Your horns are fantastic.
Um. Oh, don't worry about that. Um.
I quickly backtrack. No. Sorry. I'm sorry. I'm nervous. I wasn't trying to single you out from how you look. Really, like, I saw you outside. You were talking to, I think her name is Janine? Janine came up to me at some point. I scanned the crowd in front of me. Can't really find her. She's a little bit of a shorty, isn't she? Trying to crack a joke and lighten the mood.
Uh. I'll be completely honest with you. I haven't really gotten myself to get too acquainted with everyone's names. Honestly, in one ear out the other. So I'll pretend I know who you're talking about.
So do you know who I guess she's our homeroom teacher, professor? Not entirely sure how to address everyone at this point. Did you catch her name?
No, I didn't. I was kind of a little too preoccupied to even honestly think about catching it.
Got it. I'm a little bit. I don't think I really gave the best first impression. You see, like, I don't know. And I take a moment to assess what I'm about to say. For some reason, I feel extremely close to Jack. I feel like this is a person who would understand me. And I look at him, really taking a minute at this time, seeing the ruins on his face, looking at the horns, looking at how regular he is, despite the horns and the ruins by his eyes. I take a deep breath and go, I was going through the worst fucking headache of my entire life. I cannot stand. I felt like I was gonna throw up. I am so sweaty right now. I don't like anything that's going on. I didn't make a friend. Well, I guess you're my friend. But the teacher, I think she was mad at me already. She yelled out for me to come over there, and I ran over there. But you know what? I really think I just need a fucking sleep.
Well, the headache thing, I get you. I'm not gonna lie, part of me was wondering why you looked kind of beat up.
You noticed that I look like, if you noticed, and everybody else must have noticed. I'm worrying
Well,
and I'm playing with my hair, which is probably why it's so frizzy, but I'm kind of twirling it, almost pulling it out.
I don't think I don't think you have to worry. I mean, look, I I I think the teacher genuinely doubted if I was an actual student, because I was kind of just like, I don't know, like a little weird looking on the wall, but that was also because of a headache, in a way.
You also got a headache.
Oh,
Yeah,
Excuse me.
I think.
As a
Oh,
elf pushes by, as you said the headache part, and you were about to continue your sentence, but the person you looked at right before your headache almost tries to push by. He is seemingly out of breath. He has like a sweaty image of just this very. It's almost a tan, but his tan seems to go towards the grayish scale. As he's out of breath, he's sweaty. You see his hair is almost wet, and he tries to like push past. He's like, oh, sorry. The line is going, guys. You guys, we gotta go. Well, oh shit. Hi. My name's Trigswin. Sorry. I was working out. We gotta continue. Names?
Slow it down. Can you tell me what your name is? You said that way too fast.
Yeah, my name's Trigswin.
Chigswin?
Yeah, you can call me Trig if you want, or Trigs, any Trigswin. Yes, Sandry. Call me what you like. But sorry, I work out when I get nervous. But and you see he's like extremely toned to the point you can tell like he either trains for battle or he just does insane amount of calisthenics every day, and he's like somewhat heavy like breathing, and he like grabs onto both your shoulders. Names.
Jack, Jack Sullen.
Jack. Okay. And he looks at you.
Marianne. Pleasure to meet you, Triggs. I give him a
Marianne.
good look.
He points ahead. The line. We're going to miss the line. The homeroom teacher has left us, and he sprints past you guys. As you guys look around, and you guys were talking long enough that everybody else was walking around, and realizing you guys have, like, maybe you guys known each other before, but they didn't want to interrupt, and they just walked around you guys and walked out. You see as Triggs is running, and he stops at the door of the auditorium. He looks to you guys, waves, and he's just waiting there as he's like heavy breathing, one hand on his knee, and just keeps waving you guys towards him.
Look over at Jack. I guess we should sprint. And I break out into a run in order to catch up with the group.
Oh, I guess I guess so. I'm just, I'm just gonna go and try to like do my best to not sweat like him.
He is embracing the sweat. He is like almost glistening with sweat. It looks like as if he just got out the shower, honestly. He has very light cloth on him. He's nothing like he doesn't have a leather tunic, but he is toned. You see the muscle on him glistening in sweat. His face is pretty nice. It's angular, it's slimmed and sharp as he's like running next to you guys. Oh, yeah, I dropped some books back there, but I had to just pack it up real quick. And you see on his belt there is a sickle, and on the other side is a rapier. As he's just running, and you hear them like clanking slightly together. Well, did you guys have a third friend? And he just mentions he looks at both you as he's just running in a straight line. There was a halfling girl who just like stood there and stared at you guys for a solid 10 seconds. And I was staring at her while she was staring at you, and you guys were just talking, and she had her hood on. She almost like looked like she winced. I don't know. She kept walking. Did you guys know her?
Oh, you're talking about Janine. I just met her.
No, I met Janine. Janine is the Goliath, the tall one. She has the whole
Oh, you're
eye
right.
thing
You're
going
right.
on.
Sorry, I'm so
I didn't get
bad.
the name of the short one, but Janine, I know. She a little weird, but whatever.
What? And who are you talking about? Someone was staring at me?
They were like 10 feet away from you. You'll see her. I think she went on the same line as us. She probably knows you from somewhere. I don't know, but she stood there for like a solid like 15 seconds, and you'll see her. And he just keeps running.
That's not weird at all. Okay.
You guys are
Yeah.
running floor after floor. You guys are flight after flight is just stairs after stair. You guys are just running, and the only person you see from your class, it is Triggs, as he's keeping up, and as he keeps looking up the staircase, looking back down at you guys, and just waves. And then once you guys catch up with him, he runs again and makes sure he can keep an eye on whoever he's trying to follow up there.
I'm starting to lose my breath as the previous headache really wore me out. And I'm slowing down. I'm a little bit behind Jack. Jack, do you even see where the class is? How does he know? At this point, I'm kind of walking up the steps.
I honestly don't know how he's managing, but I mean, he looks like he knows what he's doing, so I'm not gonna question it. I just don't wanna feel like my my briefs are sweaty, and then we have to go through a lecture or something. That doesn't sound very fun.
Listen, you go ahead. I'm starting to sit down on the steps. I have to take a break. I have to take a breather. If anybody asks for me, can you tell them that I'm just not feeling well? Saying that takes everything out of me, as I know I've ruined my first impressions with all of the teachers.
Hmm. I'll try to keep up with Triggs, and once I know where the hell we're going, I'll try to come back for you. As I like touch her on the shoulders, and I say, feel better, and I'll try to cast cure wounds with that to heal her with that touch. As I kind of like go on to keep up with Triggs.
Okay. You heal her. Marianne, you
Completely?
feel. Oh, yes, completely. That was a big cure wound. You feel better. You're taking that moment's rest. Jack, since you're following Triggs, you run up the stairs, and literally, as she's struggling down one flight of stairs, you go up this another flight of stairs, and you see somebody else. It's this scrawny looking dragonborn. You see his scales is like a dark scarlet, and he's just standing there, and he look like he's grabbing his stomach a little, and he's in like leather tunic covering his head. There's only little holes where his ears pop out. They're not long per se, but they're very pointy where they come out, and his snout is very long, but also it's not wide at all. It looks weird as he's just very pointy in every direction that his facial features come out, and he's just grabbing his stomach.
Oh. You feeling right? What's going on?
No.
Oh. Are you about to? Are you about to throw up?
And you see as he like almost burps out a little fire. And he
Sorry. All this running. The teacher went out and she started making a whole sprint up the stairs. I don't know what I ate this morning, but it's not sitting right.
Are you? Do I recognize him as a part of my class by any chance? Or is he just on my path?
roll a history check.
Okay. Oh, 9 is crazy.
9. Roll a wisdom save.
Okay. Ew. Hell yeah. A 17. Yeah.
Quick. It's like almost as somebody pinches you. And with that pinch, with that pain, the jolt that is very brief but quick. A prick. A mouth crushing down on somebody and moving. Nobody's there. You don't recognize him from your class. You don't even know if you saw him today. But that brief little movie that just played for you as the prick hits, it almost wakes you up. It almost jolts you back to alertness. And he's just looking at you. Very like his eyes are watery. His eyebrows are like pointed in as he's just like, I think I'm gonna do it again. And he just like throws up, but also fire comes out with it, and you just smell like burnt food come out.
Jesus.
Sorry about that.
Hey, don't apologize. I'm also about to lose track of my class. Tell you what, there's a woman a few flights down, Marianne. Maybe you catch up with her. Also dying from these stairs. I don't blame either of ya. And I just go into my satchel and I take out a water skin, and I just hand it to him like, here, if it helps you feel better.
Thank you. My name is Bahazar. You could call me Hazar. You could call me Zar. Up to you. Nice to meet you. I hope I'm in your class.
Likewise. Name's Jack. And if we are, look forward to getting to know you better. If anything, if we are, I'll come back to get you and the other person. So don't worry too much. Do what you gotta do to feel better. As to start trying to keep up with Triggs.
You see as Baha Hazar starts slowly walking, holding his stomach still and holding a rail as he's picking himself up on each stair. Like, it looks painful, honestly. And he's slowly following from a distance. He's following you. As soon as you turn the bend on the top of the stairs, you see a good amount, probably 45 kids lined up. And you hear the teacher's voice somewhere a little higher up the stairs. Maybe a flight higher. Okay, I know we went for a little sprint, but you guys have to be ready, attentive. Make sure you're ready to move, because if you don't keep on your feet, that means you might fail, fall behind, and not graduate. I'm telling you, the tippity top of the classes, the 10 top students of this whole entire school are the ones who can think on their feet. So, that was a little test. If you're not feeling like you can keep up, now you know something to work on. We finally made it to our floor, floor 72.
72. God. So I look down at my clothes and I realized just how drenched I actually got. And I'm just like at this point looking at my armpits and seeing the sheer like sweat mark that's left on the dress shirt I have under my vest, and I'm just wearing a slight frown.
You see, as you almost match everyone who's here. Not a single person is dry, as everybody's either panting, holding their knees as they're trying to catch their breath, or some of them is just glistening in sweat as you look up and you see Triggs as he's just standing there, looking no different than he looked as soon as he started running from the first floor in the auditorium. He ran up these stairs and he looks like this is just his natural state. This is his like flow. He ran up all those stairs and looks completely the same. Still looking toned, maybe slightly more sweaty, but not too different. Still good looking. He's just standing there, not even panting anymore. Seems like the more exercise he's doing, the less he feels like worn out. And he stands there as everybody else is grasping for like air. And she just looks at everybody. Looks like we're missing a couple of students. We're going to, well, I will wait here. In this order, whoever was here first, I believe you should be able to choose your room and choose where you would want to be at first. So, in order, please no skipping the line. Let's be fair about this. If you were last and you were not as attentive as others, you realize what you have to lose. With me, if you come in first or in any higher ranking order, you get to decide what you want to do. The people underneath you get the scraps. That is, I suppose, a metaphor for life, but that is how we will live in this school. Once you pass the first year, second year, third year, you will realize in the fourth year, only the top 10 really get to move on, and the rest repeat. And by that time, I will say probably 90% of you will not be here. Maybe a good portion of you might have died. Don't let that strike fear into your heart. Let that motivate you to be better. Now, without further ado, everybody, come on. Go. As she's like tapping each student in the back. Choose your room. The rooms are all different. Choose them. And she's just tapping each one on the back. And you see the last 7 students, as you see Marianne come up the stairs as last. Right in front of her is the guy who introduced himself as Bahazar, and in front of him is you. Then it is Triggs. Then you see this small halfling girl who has a hood over her head. You don't really see the front of her. You just know by her short stature, she's most likely from halfling descendant. Then you see a guy who has this white slash gray hair floating behind him, almost as if there's a fan in front of him. He has glasses on, and one side of his face is just looks ruined. The other side looks amazing, as if he took care of his skin every single day. In front of him, you see a tall Goliath. As what you gathered from Marianne is she described a short person, but the pendant, the description of roughly how she was, you can tell that girl is probably Janine. And with that being said, you guys are the last 7.
I wanna look back to Marianne and Bahazar and just be like, "Are you two okay?"
I mean, I'm perfect right now. It was like as soon as you touched me, it's almost like I came back to life. Like those stairs back there were fucking nothing. Do you know what the monks at the monastery made me do? Light work, 72 floors I can do in my sleep. I'm trying to play off how embarrassed I was, and even though I could go up the rest of the stairs without it being too much of an effort, I was definitely sweaty. So before I came up there, I had changed my shirt from the same red silk blouse, into one that did not have any sweat stains. I made sure I looked presentable. Everything about me, except for my hair, was perfect. I turned to Jack. What did you... Do you know? I'm trying to figure out, as soon as you touched me, my brain's going 1,000 miles per hour. As soon as you touched me, I felt okay. Did you have something on your hands? What was that?
Huh? Uh, consider it part of my art.
Your art. Wow. I've only read about such healing powers. I mean, I knew that this school had the best of the best. But, wow.
Excuse me, students. Um, I see you are talking, and let's just say life will not give you very direct missions. You either make your own mission and you follow through with it, or in this case, you follow someone else's mission that they appoint to you, and you complete it to the best of your abilities. The mission right now was to reach our floor and be the best. That is what the school is about, where you are supposed to be the best. You final 7. I don't know what. Can you guys explain to me what took you so long to get up here? And it's literally only you 7 and the teacher. There is no one else in the staircase. As she closed the door in front of Janine, as Janine was trying to go through, but the teacher basically told her to wait, and now she's just talking to you 7.
I'm pulling myself up. My chest is back. My hands are down to my side. I feel good. I feel calm. I'm so sorry. This was a complete non-normal thing that had happened to me. And it seems like Jack, and I gestured to Jack next to me, also experienced the same thing. Now, look, I know that he actually got here, but I was feeling ridiculously ill before the principal had his speech. And I'm very sorry I could not get up those steps, but I am telling you, this will not be a problem in the future. I have trained with the monks. I am very good at all types of endurance and stamina. They made sure. Trust me. They made sure. But again, I apologize. I know this is school and I did not follow the rules, and I will take whatever punishment is necessary.
No punishment is necessary. Being last is punishment enough. Um, so, I understand we are the best of the best. That is why we are here. But we have to be one above that. Are we the best of the best of the best? Do you want to graduate? I know we all come to this school having high hopes for ourselves. I know the principal explained that we are here to tune our potential, but under my class, everything will be slightly harder because I want every single one of my students to pass, to graduate, to get their wish. I believe you heard about it. The top 10 students in the whole grade by year 4, well, the end of year 4, only the top 10 get to graduate. And if they please the art god enough, they will be able to grant their wish. Well, he will grant their wish. So, I hope for all 10 of those students to be mine. Let's just say that has not been accomplished yet. But we are very close, and I understand our potential. I'm just making sure you guys are not slacking on yourselves. So for this is the first day. But remember, in my eyes, only the best get what is best. So if you continue placing last, you're just going to pick up the scraps of whatever they get. I don't want that for you. I want you to learn. I want you to prosper. I want you guys, maybe you guys, the last 7. By the way, this is the last 7th of the class. We split the class in 2 and there's only 49 of us. So I will be keeping a close eye on you 7. And with that being said, between me and you guys, maybe we can pull off U7 being in the top 10 at the end of the 4th year. Now, I'm not saying I will be your teacher throughout all those 4 years, but I believe in you. So believe in yourselves, okay? Let's put up the best effort we possibly can, and let's start the year off right, okay?
You got it.
Understand.
Everybody else in front of you guys also like either mumble yes, or some of them that look more on the nerdy and scrawny side, like Czar. He is still holding his stomach, he clearly looking in pain. Yes, Professor. As that's the clearest you have heard him spoke. Like this man just, well, this dragonborn just spoke almost as if he was a different person, and he just nods his head, and he just goes back grumbling to himself. She opens the doors, and she says, "Okay, now that we understand each other, go to your rooms, in order. Jack, you, Marianne, and Czar are the last 3. By the time you go down this long corridor that has multiple rooms splitting off from each other, and when I say long, it's almost like a block long. You don't understand what magic it took just to build the interior of this university, because on the outside it is not this long. It is, from the staircase, it looks pristine, it looks presentable, almost as if you were in the inside of a mansion. And as you go further and further back into the corridor on the right side, you see as slowly, it's not that it gets decrepit, but it gets dustier, almost less maintained. And the rooms are split. It's rooms of 4. That means the people who chose their room first have extra space. And with that being said, the last 4, which are you, Jack, Marianne, Czar, and Triggs, all go to this very dusty, very old. The bed is not as comfortable. The desk seems to be wobbly a little bit. Everything is nice looking from the outside if you were just to take a regular glance, but everything is slightly janky. And with that being said, meet your new roommates. Talk to them. As Czar puts down his bag on one side, and then on the top is it's not 4 beds per se, but it is 2 bunk beds and 2 desks inside the room. It's a nice little dorm, but everything's slightly off, as Czar is on the bottom bunk and Triggs is on the top bunk. You guys can decide how you guys want to order yourself.
I look at Jack. Well, listen, as much as I want the bottom bunk, I know what you did for me. I don't know what exactly it was, but I know what you did for me. You get to pick. You get to pick. Your choice.
I mean, you know, I'll go top bunk. I don't mind.
Oh, wow. Thank you. I start to go to my bottom bunk. Realize it's a shitty ass big mattress. A little bit peeved. Just thinking about how much I had to do to get into this school. Distracted in my thoughts of being ungrateful.
Do you guys reckon, at least in the long run, we'd be allowed to do renovations in here?
Dear God, I hope so. Locked out of my bed.
The way she was talking, it was almost as if we had to, earn the renovations or whatever we wanted to do. I don't think if we keep being last and everything, she wouldn't allow us or want us to, be in a better position if we would keep being last. I don't know. I still feel like shit.
Sorry, I didn't catch your name. My name's Marianne.
My name's Bahazar. You could call me Hazar. Nah. Or Zar. Preferably Zar. It's just quicker. Yeah.
Nice to meet you, Zara. I struggled too.
You can see his pointed face, and his snout is very like thin but pointed. His ears are pointing out of like this little makeshift leather helmet almost, as it only has holes for his ears. It also has little goggles that attach to it that are now have been flipped up, and the goggles are to like rest on his snout and be perfect like for his eyes.
If you don't mind, I like nature, so if you just, if you see an animal or anything, and please don't kill it. Just let me know. I'll take care of it, okay?
Does that include bugs? I'm sorry. I have an extreme aversion. I've tried everything. I just cannot get over that. So I would also prefer not to kill them, but if you can kind of take them away from me, that would be perfect, Zar.
He almost has like puppy dog eyes. Like he was very sad for a moment. He's like,
Oh, I thought you were gonna say to kill them. Yes, I will gladly take them away from you. Just yeah, don't kill them. Please don't kill them.
and you see Triggs hanging off like the side of the bunk bed, and you see the bunk bed behind Zar rocking as Triggs is doing sit-ups, and the only thing keeping him in place is his legs are like locked in between like the ladder, and he's just doing sit-ups in the air, and he just tries to talk to you guys.
So, nice to meet all of you. I'm Triggs. I believe I met some of you down there. And if you don't mind, I would prefer if we had almost a schedule of sorts. We'll figure that out in the next couple of days. But I like to be on point, okay?
Kind of staring at Craig, admiring what he's doing at the moment. And I come back to my trainers. I'm like, oh, of course, Triggs, yeah. Like, no problem. I like to wake up very early, if that's the schedule you're talking about.
Yeah, that's fine. I don't know how our homeroom teacher's going to try to. Well, okay.
You see, as he's like, he took a pause from his sentence just so he could finish the last set of sit-ups, and then now he's just leaning against the ladder, looking at you, still glistening in sweat. You don't even know why the sweat hasn't been absorbed or at least like dripped off of him at this point, but it looks like he's just glistening. He just has his shoulder against the ladder. So if it's anything academic or any of that, I hope we all could be friends and help each other, you know? I do not want to stay in last place. So I feel like if we work as a team, we can at least pass the other three that was there, you know? I'm not trying to be the last of the last. I'd at least be the first of the last or move up. I don't know. I need some water. As you see him just like open his bag and just start digging through it.
I mean, I wouldn't worry too much. It lasts once because, we just honestly got distracted. I don't think that really says too much about us. And plus, I mean, what, we're gonna be here for a few years. I wouldn't stress it. And if you need water, I can give you, but it's probably better for like washing yourself up.
He already has his bottle in his hands and he's taking sips from it. No, thank you. Maybe another time. But so what do you guys like specialize in? For me, he pulls out the sickle on his one hand and he's holding it like a reverse grip. And almost like the sickle is a defensive weapon. And he's holding his rapier forward and he's like, I enjoy fighting. I, I'm pretty acrobatic, you might say. I'm nimble, I can move around. And in case we get into any fights with any, I don't know, during any of the lessons, or if we need somebody athletic or doing something of the sorts, I could try to help you guys. Flexes a little as
So
he
is
admires my
your art
muscle.
like your body or what you do?
Oh, you want to know what I did to get accepted? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, because you're kind of shredded, dude.
Thank you. As he's like was about to take a sip of water, but he just has like this huge grin on his face. Yeah, thank you. He looks almost like as he's lost in his head, like in thought. No, yeah, I guess you could call my body art. He's just smiling cheek from cheek, just yeah, but no, I like my brain likes to process situations like as in tactician style. So I always look at what is the best possible, outcome, try to position myself properly. I got scouted because I was in a class for fighting and I basically was fending for myself in a 1v3 situation. And I think they saw my rapier skills, how I was dancing around in between the blades, making them hit each other and using the sickle to maneuver their blades out of the way so I can poke and prod. It wasn't a real life or death situation, but it was practice nonetheless. And then I just ended it off with using one of them to basically propel myself up and do a backflip over the other and tag him. And of course, I won. They saw enough of that and decided I deserved the letter to join. So I'm
Oh,
glad. I'm glad at least someone recognizes my body as he's like flexing and like putting out his triceps, just looking around.
trust me.
Huh?
People recognize your body.
He's like almost blushing.
How about
Thanks.
you, Star? I love your goggles, by the way. I just have to say,
Oh, he
very
puts
chic.
them down as soon as he says that, and you see him smile. This like long, toothy, like his snout is extremely like long, thin, and you see his like toothy little grin. It's all jagged teeth, very reptilian. And he just looks and he's like, "So, I was doing fire magic, and I had how do I like animals, and we have this sense and this connection between us. And I basically produced a flame just enough to burn the tail of a bird. My bird, of course, but I couldn't bring him. Um, well, he's not tamed. Anyways, um, I burned the tip of the bird, but that was leaking an oil, so it was doing this design that I was telling the bird to do. And then I was controlling the flames in the sky so it could almost make this intricate design of fire in the sky while the bird was flying. Made it look almost phoenix type. The bird wasn't a phoenix, it was different.
I don't know if you know about birds, but yeah, if you do, we could talk about it sometime.
That sounds ridiculous. Oh my gosh. No, I don't know about birds. I'll probably learn some.
I hope you do. Animals are my go-to. Sometimes they're better than people. But yeah, that's what I was doing. I had the flames, and then I was controlling them and making it into this giant phoenix-like display, and I got some copper off of it. I'm not gonna lie, I was performing not for money, but for the performance itself. But money's a good secondary outcome. And yeah, so I received a letter to my hut the next day, and then I decided to pack my stuff up and come. You know, why not give it a shot? Gotta do it for the animals.
Do it for the animals.
You guys, how did you guys get recognized?
Well, you see, I have studied from monastery to monastery, mansion to mansion, just trying to provide some type of value so I can get access to these people's libraries. If you can imagine, now I stand up from my bunk bed, I'm a little bit animated, I'm getting very excited. My hands are going everywhere while I'm talking. So if you can imagine what these people have in terms of knowledge. Now I know my fellow monks, they really do protect their libraries, their books, their knowledge. But these rich motherfuckers don't even know what they have. And honestly, they're the easiest to appease, so I can get into their libraries. But long story short, I learned a bunch of shit. I became really good at what I do, both athletics, and I look over to Triggs, kind of giving him a glance. Athletics and knowledge. I mean, let's be for real. I love to read. All of that has led me to go out on my own, and I traveled from village, from city to city, and of course, in order to actually survive, I turned to any local inn that I found, and I offered my services. I'm very good at casting some type of frost and coldness, and I've learned to control the temperature of it so that I can go a little bit light, cool, I can go very, very frozen. The inns really appreciate this. They want to make sure that their food and their produce last a long time, and not many people can provide this skill. So from there, I've got housing, and in order to make a little pocket money, inns were hiring me to perform at their big gatherings. You know how it is. Men come in, they're drunk, Friday, Saturday night, and honestly, we did have a lot of customers throughout the week. Just go there, and I'm very skilled at sleight of hand. I can make things appear, I can make things disappear. I also change my appearance at will. These things attract customers, attracts attention, and goes across the villages, I'm assuming. Because someone must have been in the audience one night. I think I know what night it is. Because I got dropped 3 heavy-ass gold coins one time as a tip. Did not figure out who it was. Then a couple days later, I got the letter. It was an amazing coincidence, or it was an amazing experience. Let's give myself the credit. But I'm really looking at this opportunity as another chance to learn as much as I can. Anyway, a little bit about myself. I plop back down on my bed. How about you, Jack? Tell us your life story. At least how you got here.
Nothing too crazy. Just do some paintings. I play flute. I play lute. I even play the drum a little bit, but you know, I just kind of do it in my free time, and sometimes people just get curious when they, hear melodies in the woods or something like that. As I kind of like glance around and just kind of like change topic, like, also by the way, everyone who's sweaty, and I look at myself and I just cast create or destroy water to just like completely dissipate all the fucking sweat on everybody. And I'm just like, yeah, see, pretty cool, right? Yeah, that's about it.
Jack, you play the drums? I was taught at this one monastery this form of artistic yet powerful band slash acrobatic slash martial arts move. It is pretty ancient, but they do it to a beat of music, and now it can become a performance with that. I'm trying to get myself level up. If you would do me the favor of helping me practice my moves, it's been a long time, but I have a feeling that's going to get the teachers to really understand what I can do and not be slow poke up the stairs. Only if you're comfortable. Don't worry about it. But I don't know how to play drums.
I mean, I certainly don't mind. Just the rhythms might be a little unorthodox for
What do you mean
people.
by unorthodox? How did you learn how to play the drums?
Uh, just my home. My parents kind of had instruments around, and I just kind of asked them to help me, and they were, of course, more than happy to. And it was kind of just a nice little channel, you know.
I'm feeling a bit uneasy in my stomach. I'm realizing that the three men around me are actually the best at the best. I'm not the best at what they do. I have a lot to learn, is what I'm thinking about. Well, thank you, Jack. I'll let you know if this is something that I want to pursue, but honestly, I really appreciate all your help, and I know that all three of you boys, I look at everyone in the group, are just going to get the fuck out of here as soon as possible. There's just no way.
We got this as a team. I believe we can help each other and pick up the other people's weaknesses, and we can succeed. And as soon as
Oh,
he finishes
definitely.
that sentence, you hear it's like it's an alarm clock on top of one of the desks that's in the room, and it speaks in the teacher's voice as it says, "Please get acquainted with your new roommates, for they will be your team. The next day, tomorrow, you will be versing another team in a battle. We are measuring each other's strengths and weaknesses in an almost battle situation. Each of you will see, each team will get a different scenario. No team will see another person's scenario, just so we can keep most of the strengths and most of the weaknesses separated and leave surprises for each other down the line. So rest up, for tomorrow will be the first actual assignment. That means tomorrow morning, after breakfast, of course, that is provided, you will be battling another team of 4 or maybe 3. But I am grading this, so please do your best. Now, for the rest of the day, afternoon, I should say, get acquainted and hopefully sleep early because we will start immediately tomorrow. I will not tell you the time, but if you sleep in and you miss breakfast and you use that as an excuse to fail the first assignment, I would not care. Sorry, that is your doing. Be prepared for life. And you hear that alarm stop right after that.
stay a while longer, won't you? Let me tell you another story. Or maybe, just for tonight, we could talk instead. I don't mind the silence, but it's been so long since I've heard a voice that isn't my own.